Hello, duckies and dice fiends. Welcome in. It is Tuesday. It's the Table Talk Show. And who the heck is this? Who the heck is this? Who the heck? Who the heck?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Table Tuesday talking. Not directly from the hospital, but actually from my house. But hi, everybody.
David exists. And yes, haircut. I'm still adjusting.
We all are still adjusting. Fun fact: if you are in the hospital long enough, your hair might get damaged. So if you ever find yourself in the hospital, make sure you take care of your hair.
And if you are black in a hospital, some white nurse might just do a top knot right here out of your hair.
Yes.
Hey,
Oh,
DC,
God,
welcome in.
Hello,
So,
DC.
yes, Skycram, Lurking Rider, Rex, thank you so much for the resubs. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. Ribbon, obviously, Rex, Alaria, thank you all for coming by. I am so excited to have my bestie back, and so grateful that you're all here to share this with us. So, yeah, we do not want to turn this into a whole Q&A about what the heck is up with David. David, anything you would like to say or share? I know you don't want me to put you on the spot, but...
Well, I know that everyone is wondering why we were off for, was it 2 weeks? So tell everybody why we were off for 2 weeks.
Well, I think most folks know, but I took a little jaunt across the pond and went to see my Chalice group, and basically played a 14-hour TTRPG session, like you do, and got to see some incredible folks like the Lurking Rider, whom I normally wouldn't get to see. Yes, I was definitely not overseas on a secret mission. It was a really wonderful time. As David knows, I think I've played... How many sessions did we get out of Dane's game? 4? I think we got 4 sessions before we broke it.
Yeah.
So I've played... Before that, I had played 4 TTRPG sessions in person. Technically, now I've only played 5, but it was also a 14-hour session.
Yeah, that counts as more than one.
Yes, absolutely. My concept of heaven. My GM was literally like, I am ready to go until everyone needs to stop. I think we stopped at 2 a.m. We started about 10.
Yeah, wow. And you see, I want to run a table for that long, but I'm not sure I would survive. Like, I'm sure everybody else would. But like, I think like the longest game I ever ran was like 4.5 hours. And I think I slept 10 hours straight after. Like flopped into bed, completely out, just done so.
Yes. So yes, thank you for being patient while I was nowhere near my computer. And David was, David opened OBS and went, no, I'm going to run production. Oh, there's so much I need to update. Hey, I'm like, yeah, I got you. We're good.
But when it comes to my convalescence, for one, thank you everyone for your support and for your messages. I was actually talking to a friend of mine last night about how, like, while I didn't necessarily respond to everyone or even most people, there was like a solid like 4 months where the only person who heard from me was Kay. Like, I've spoken to my sister, my flesh and blood, like twice since I went to the hospital. But one of the big things that I've had to adjust to is how much love and support um, from this community and from the people in my life. Uh, and that's something I've never experienced before. And I've had to really wrap my head around that. Um, and the Cliff Notes version is apparently I lived like a wild animal for like 2 weeks in November. And I'd gotten sick enough where I asked to be taken to the hospital.
And that takes something.
Right. Uh, and I had like 3 infections, including pneumonia and something that they never quite figured out what it was. And then they put me into a coma because apparently I was fighting nurses. And then I took a long time to wake up.
I didn't know the fighting nurses bit. No one told me
Right.
that.
Yeah, like because
You are not a good patient.
I'm one of those. No, I'm an excellent patient because I'm one of those people who believes that if somebody is not just smarter than me but knows more than me, you shut the fuck up and you listen to them. Like when Fauci is like, "Here, put this COVID vaccine in your arm," I went and got the fucking COVID vaccine. Like when a doctor's like, "If you take this pill, all the problems you're having will stop," I put that motherfucker in my mouth. Like people who don't listen to experts drives me insane. So when I was awake and cognizant and like actually in my brain, I was the best patient. But apparently between getting to the hospital and them putting me in a coma, apparently I was combative or something. I don't know. It was it sounded very out of character. But went in coma, woke up. Apparently I took too long to wake up.
It was stressful.
And then was in the hospital, and then in January got transferred to a rehab facility. And then I was in the rehab facility for a number of months. And then I got out of the rehab facility a couple of weeks ago, and I've been convalescing at home ever since. But an especially big thank you to Kay for keeping everybody informed, because not only did Kay travel like an hour and a half one way to come see me without a car, but also like kept the Discord informed, and then kept a slew of people informed, because a supposed friend of mine was supposed to keep people informed and then stopped. And so Kay picked up the slack. And so a whole bunch of people in my personal life got to meet Kay by them going, "Hey, so how is David doing?"
I know all of David's friends now.
Right. Yeah. There's a person I've known since first grade. Like I met him in first grade. And apparently he showed up to the hospital when Kay was there, and Kay got to meet him. And sometime later,
David streams.
Right, because like we're cool, but we don't like talk. Like we're men, we don't like talk about things. And I remember texting him like 3 months later. He had texted me to check in. And I was like, "Yeah, so I heard you met Kay." And he's like, "Yeah, Kay was great." And I was like, "Why were you at the hospital?" And he was like, "To see you." And I'm like, "What do you mean to see me?"
So to quote Ribbonanza from a few minutes ago now, "Get loved and cherished, loser."
Yeah. But yeah, again, a big thank you to everyone in the Chaotic Pulsing community. People who reached out personally on Discord, people who just read and kept up with Kay's updates, and especially to Kay and my godbrother Alex, who I am living with, who is taking very good care of me.
Thank you to everyone who recorded voice messages, because those meant a lot. I'm looking at you, Rex. Above and beyond, my dude.
But yeah, no. While it was a trying time, it was a lot easier because there were so many people who were invested in me getting better and waiting for me to get out.
Much love. I will also say there are a couple new additions and or upgrades to my background, which I will point out very quickly because it is relevant to my UK trip. I play Burton.
Oh my God.
And they were selling these at one of the little stores. And before I even knew how to count out my coin money, my GM had bought that for me.
Oh.
So thank you, Ben. My friend Jago, who plays Chalice with me, painted my soul mini. And it's not showing up so great right now, but he did such an amazing job. And the cards, like Adam's art of the cards for Soul for the Emergency Power Podcast, had a shift from blue to purple, and he actually accomplished that. And I'm so happy. And then Jago likes to kit bash. Jago likes to start projects. Jago sometimes realizes I may have gotten in over my head with this project, and I'm really happy that I did the one, but maybe I'm done. And Jago found out that I like Arthurian legend. And so I talked him through. He was looking at, what if I did a 40k Warhammer Arthurian legend army? Just for funsies. Not actually to play, just to paint, just to kit bash, just to do fun stuff. Where'd he go? And he started with Merlin, and I started talking to him about all the various things. So when I went, he surprised me and gave me his head librarian Merlin that he custom painted, kit bashed, and made.
Ah.
Yeah. Thank you, Jago. I'm such a big fan. It's even got little, I don't know if it'll show up, decals on the book and everything. It's so cool. He is trying so hard to drag me into 40k. I might play a Horus Heresy TTRPG with him, but fortunately, because we don't live in the same country, I can't possibly, army fight him, so I'm safe. Aw, Lurking Rider. Yeah, I'm very grateful to Jago and to Ben for those goodies. And yes, I think that is kind of our little wrap-up recap of where David has been, where I have been. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for welcoming us back. Thank you for being such a great community and supporting us even when we've been mostly AFK. Hopefully, things will kind of hit a cadence and we'll get back to things. The world is wild. Life is wild. We're going to see where everything takes us. But here we are. Thank you all so much. We are so grateful and so lucky, and I appreciate you all.
Watching the world catch on fire from a hospital bed, Jesus fucking Christ. At least I didn't have to punch a clock. Like to all of you who had to get up and do dishes and do laundry while everything was on fire. Hey,
Solid Hair, welcome.
For one, everybody pat themselves on the back for not going crazy, or at least not going completely crazy during this time.
Hey, Ty, welcome in. Yes, it is so good to see David back. So, done that rundown. Yeah, the world is wild. The world will continue to be wild. We are all hanging on. Sometimes surviving is thriving. We're good with that.
And surviving is resistance.
The return of the ducky. So,
yes.
With all of that out of the way, hi, I'm Kay, and this is the Table Talk Show. We do this every Tuesday, just about, where we talk about TTRPGs. We have guests, and we're excited to really officially kick it off with David back. Thank you so much to Candace the Magnificent and to Matt of Mimics and Misfits for being incredible co-hosts and helping me be able to keep this going and keep my keep what sanity I have in the absence of my best friend. It has been so very appreciated. I don't know that I would have survived it without them or without everyone else here. Hey, Jason, welcome on in. So I'm Kay. This is what I do on Tuesdays. This week, you can find me on 2 other games. You can find me over at Metalark Productions for the penultimate episode of the Star Wars A Sterling Garden, which is a Star Wars 5e campaign, where I play Miss Bella Lago, who, has not quite been in line with everyone else, but they've kind of find their place in it all. And then on Friday, you can find me over at Entropy Emporium for the Weird Wilds War, where I play Brandon, who is just David's favorite character ever. And David wants to run a campaign specifically so I can play Brandon with him.
Kay and I are working on a thing. And the good berries that Brandon makes going to end up in the thing, because apparently I can't, even though I don't do drugs, I can't create a world without drugs in them.
So that's me. David, who the heck is you and what the heck is we doing here?
Hi, I am formerly hospitalated, currently convalescing David, and this is the Tuesday Table Talk Show, where every week we talk about TTRPG stuff and how to be a better person, how to be a better player, all with a focus on intersectionality and inclusion, so that everybody can have a good time.
How does that feel, David?
There have been many, like, dusting off the cobwebs, knocking the dust off of things, and that was definitely one of those moments.
So today we are, and Centaur accessibility, which, yes, is very important. Thank you, Ribbon. We cannot forget the truly important things in TTRPGs. One of the things we are here to talk about today, now that we've gotten all of the 20 minutes of intros done, but let's be fair. Some big updates, some cool things, some questions answered. We were fortunate enough, many thank you to Paizo for sending us an advanced PDF copy of the Starfinder 2e Galaxy Guide. So we have been spending some time digging through that. As you all know, I am a big, obviously, Emergency Bar Podcast, I'm a big fan of Starfinder. I am a big fan of Pathfinder 2e and the 3 Action Economy. I thought they will never do Starfinder 2e. It is too small. They did.
It's too niche.
Yeah, they did. They turned around and they did it. So we are going to chat through this. Now, one important caveat before we dive into this topic, I want to point it out so that it is made clear and obvious. This is the Galaxy Guide, which is not the player's handbook. The player's handbook for... hey, Candace, welcome in. The handbook will be coming out this summer. They put out the Galaxy Guide first, which is a bit odd. We can talk about why they might be doing that if you are interested. There's lots of opinions online as to why. We have some selected art pulled up that we're going to talk to you about. Look who's here. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Our other co-host.
Yes. Come on. Do it. Do it. Thank you.
Oh my god.
So we are going to chat through the Galaxy Guide, which again is not the player handbook. You can find the base ancestries for Starfinder, which is race in D&D. Hey, Youngles, welcome on in, Jen. How are you doing? There is a playtest with a lot of the playtest book that is out and free that has a lot of the basic Starfinder stuff for 2E. However, this is the Galaxy Guide, which is coming out before the Player's Handbook is a choice, so it's a little bit confusing. And we're gonna talk through it. We're gonna answer questions. We got opinions.
First thing. Okay, so I think it was like last week. Kay says these things. I look at it, and then I'm looking at it yesterday, and then I'm looking at it again today in preparation for. And so we're in the green room, and I'm like, yeah, there's this one particular thing that I like. Oh man, I gotta find it. I go scroll. Now, the audacity of Paizo to not just release this before the PHB, but this motherfucker is 180 pages with a ton of art in it. And lots of words, and we'll get to that later. But Kay is like, why are you scrolling? You could just scroll to the top, and then click on the thing, y'all. There is a clickable table of contents in the document. We've had PDFs for like 30 fucking years, however long we've had PDFs, and 99.9% of them got nothing clickable in it.
We appreciate a clickable table of contents. Well done, Paizo. Thank you.
Yeah, Paizo. Just that, and for those people who are making stuff, who are either making tabletop stuff or making whatever, little details matter, and little details contribute to the customer experience. And something as simple as I could just go to the table of contents and click on a thing, and then it pops me down to the section instead of scrolling through 180 pages looking for that is such a huge quality of life thing. And it's also, it tells you that there's a human behind it. Like in this world of AI taking over all creative stuff, which is stupid to me. But the fact that somebody was like, man, I hate scrolling through 180 pages of PDF, especially if you're like on a slow computer or like you're on your phone or whatever. And so you scroll down and then you got to wait for the pages to load. And then you got to scroll some more and wait for them. Someone was like, man, I fucking hate this. Is there a thing I can put in here? Yeah, there's a thing I can put in here where I could just click this thing and go. Bravo, Paizo, for putting that in here.
David's just excited because he discovered this like not even half an hour ago.
Right. Like we're in the green room and Kay is like, you could just click on a thing. And I'm like, oh, shit. And they're like, no, really. And then I obviously scroll up and click on a thing and I'm like, oh, brother.
Lurking Riders is the only thing that's better are the ones that let you press the backspace button to go straight to the part of the contents you were last on. Might do that. Not sure. Have not actually checked that. But yes. So again, sir, my cat is just off the hook. So yes, thank you, Paizo, for sending this over. We received product. We are not being paid for this. This is just our honest opinions after flipping through it a little bit. We cannot show you the entire thing for what I hope are obvious reasons. But we have some art selection. We have stuff we want to talk about. And if you have questions, we would love to answer them. So this is, again, not the Player's Handbook. It's intended to be used in conjunction with / after the Player's Handbook. It does come with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new ancestries. Well, not new. 6 ancestries that were not in the PBH. So your Lashunta, your Yosoki, your all of those kind of staples of Starfinder are going to be in the Player's Handbook. Here we get, I am going to say these wrong. I just am. Sir! We are going to get the Astrosonian. We are going to get one that I am personally... You missed this, didn't you, David?
Yep.
We get the one that I am incredibly fond of, simply because of the Emergency Power podcast, the contemplative, the giant floating brain, our favorite Ponzi boy from Emergency Power podcast, the Dragonkin, which I really like some of the features of the Dragonkin. I'm going to show you an artwork from it that I adore. Callow, the Scarcian, which I love Scarcians so much. I nerd for Scarcians. And Valaka, which are for our gay furries. That's what they are. They're for our gay furries. And we love our gay furries here.
That we do.
We do. So, Gilmore, you're just going to make this so difficult.
Here's a question. Also, Gilmore looks so pleased.
He's not. Look at the Angie tail.
But, ooh, yeah. But, so as someone who has played a fair bit, and I dare say a lot of Starfinder 1, what were the things that immediately jumped out to you that were different?
Well, so again, this is a little bit...
Yeah, it's not the PHP.
Yeah, because, like, obviously, the big exciting thing is you get the 3-action economy in Starfinder. I want it. That's all I want. One of the things that really... So, I'll go through this a little bit. First part, obviously, is introduction. Welcome to the galaxy and the timeline, because Starfinder has its own history. One of the things that really stood out to me that I really appreciated in this is the second section, which is just titled Adventures. Starfinder Player's Handbook Supplemental, Stardate, Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably. The ducky has returned to a familiar space, and immediately the co-captain has been beset by a furred creature of immense chaos. You are a furred creature of immense chaos, sir. Are you abandoning me now that we're calling you out? It has a section that's just titled Adventures. And this really brought me a lot of joy because it specifically has information about the lore, the settings, the worlds, and all of that, with hooks and prompts for how to run adventures, how to run campaigns that include dystopian, high-tech, fantasy, war-torn, into the unknown, horror, and weird. Obviously, I really like... One of the cool things about the Pathfinder Starfinder 2e thing is they can be technically compatible in the same world. Those of you who are not familiar with Starfinder, it is the same place as Pathfinder. There's just a thing known as the Gap, which they cover in the timeline, where something happened that made it go from sword and sorcery to sci-fi. No one quite knows why, but it happened. Now, I have been told by more than one person, that there is a person at Paizo who knows what happened in the Gap. It's just not telling anyone.
On the one hand, I wouldn't say either, but on the other hand, you should absolutely tell us.
I did have a friend who asked, like, how much do you need to know about the lore in order to run Starfinder 2e? How boned are you if you ignore all the written lore? And the answer, I think, is not that much if you are accustomed to homebrew. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of work to do. If you've got players who already know the Starfinder universe, yes, basically the Industrial Revolution. I know what happened in the Gap because I used to work there. Wait. Obviously, if you've got players who know the world, who know the setting, you're going to have to do some deprogramming. But I think you could take a lot of this and run without too much problems. I am going to... This is going to cover David and I a little bit. I won't keep these pictures up for too long, but I do want to show one of the first things they do is the, shrink this down here, the Galaxy. Come here, scooch, scooch. Why won't you scooch? Now you scooch too far. This is quite literally what the world of Starfinder looks like. And David really liked this map, and I will let David talk about that.
So, in the documents that Paizo sent us is a big splash galaxy guide, and it's not this image, but it's this big. It's this big, sort of tiered hexagonal. Okay, so for those people who are old, do you remember Qbert on a tarp, where it was like the hexagonal grid, but it was like 3D?
Destinous Path. Is that the art you're talking about?
Hold on.
Because I can make it appear on screen.
Yeah. What is the title? But whatever the second yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah, Desna's Path. Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Keep talking, and it will appear on screen in just a moment after I fight with things. Continue.
So, to make a small Star Trek detour.
Oh boy.
One of the complaints. So, everybody, not everybody, but people in the genre know that there's hard sci-fi and soft sci-fi, and Star Trek really goes back and forth between both. There's a lot of like hard sci-fi that prompts a lot of philosophical discussion. Like, there have been philosophy articles published about the transporter system, and if you are the same person when you come out the other side of it. And there are even people who are like, well, if you look at this series and this episode, the only people that are actually the real versions of themselves are these two people. But when one of the big complaints is how the ships are always in line with one another. And it's a very like two-dimensional way of thinking. And even our star charts and even our like planetary maps are presented in a 2D way. And of course, like in the movies, both in Star Trek II Wrath of Khan and in one of the reboots, they sort of like address these things and go, actually, it's a three-dimensional space. But
got it ready whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so put it up.
It's up.
One of the things that I really love about this star map is it does an excellent job of representing the three-dimensional space of it in a two-dimensional way. Like just between the colors and like the tiered system, like it's pretty to look at. Like I want a poster of this to put on my wall. And it also does a really great job of illustrating the three-dimensional nature of the space. And like even in like Star Trek maps that you see, or even in Star Wars maps that you like, I remember playing multiple Star Wars games back in the day where the galaxy is represented in a flat two-dimensional space. And the fact that Paizo considered this, thought about it, and not only like designed the game world that way, but made sure that we as players and GMs and consumers could see their vision of the galaxy, I think is really, really cool.
So yes, that is kind of the first thing. It also has all of those. I'm actually going to go back to this one real quick. All of these planets all have a breakdown in a little quick, not planets, because not all of them are planets, but all of these major features have a quick little breakdown so you can very quickly reference. And then there's a much deeper breakdown within the book. So there's a lot of information, but it's also broken down in a very digestible way, which I appreciate, especially if you're new to Starfinder. Like, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of stations. There's a lot of moons. There's a lot of planets. There's a lot of things that you don't necessarily have to learn the name of. You can absolutely homebrew your way around it. You can absolutely add your own stuff. But if you're wanting to reference material, there's a lot of things to remember. And they've made it very easy to do that. Not all of them are planets. Pluto, former sad planet.
Pluto, I was big enough for your mom.
I have strong opinions about Pluto, and Pluto should not be a planet. If Pluto should be a planet, then we're going to have dozens of planets. But that's a rant for another time.
Originally, I was on Team Pluto. I was like, look, Pluto was big enough for my mom, so Pluto's big enough for me, okay? Like, if my mom could take it, I could take it. But, circling back to something I said earlier, I firmly believe that I should defer these decisions to the fucking experts.
Yes.
If you have like a PhD in like astronomy, and you can name, if you can't name all the moons on Jupiter, then you can't tell me shit about space.
Yeah.
Like give me an expert. If the experts say, hey, it was big enough for your mom, but maybe not big enough for you, then I am going to acquiesce and be like, you know what, you're right.
If you can't, and I say this because I can't, if you can't name all of the planetoids in the Kuiper Belt, which are larger than Pluto, then maybe Pluto shouldn't be a planet.
Right.
But yeah, got demoted to the god of the underworld, but here we are. I am going to just show off this because this is one of my, again, because of the Emergency Power podcast, because of Pawns. Look, y'all, Pawns is like great. We love Pawns. Pawns is one of my favorite characters to have played against ever. Just a giant brain with a boombox on his head and a little suit on his little vestigial nerve cluster body. And I love him. And the contemplatives make a return in this. And look at how cute they are, y'all. They're so cute. And they've added, there's some really cute, really cool things that contemplatives can do now. It's not a massive change from before, but the descriptions of them are honestly spot on for Pawns. Like, as I was reading it, I was messaging Cooper, who plays Pawns, and being like, blurb. Yep, that's Pawns. Blurb. Yep, that's still Pawns. Really cool. We talked to the Green Room about, in my horror game, someone's trying to create a hive mind. Contemplatives can just do that. And it's really cool to how they kind of break down the culture of those who want to stay hive mind versus those who actually want to break away and be an individual, and how that is viewed and how that is viewed in different places. And also we spent a ton of time on Akaton in the 3rd season of Emergency Power, so I always like reading up on Akaton. I'm going to talk about the art again. We got this ancestry back, and this one, y'all, and you're going to know what I mean as soon as I say it. We got you, gay furries. We got you. Paizo has you. They know what a good chunk of you come here for Starfinder for. They got you. I love this cat. This cat is great. And I love the belly shirt. I know several furries who are like, make that an NPC so that I can romance it. It is required.
Right. When we were in Green Room, and I'm scrolling through a bunch of the art in the book, and I was like, this is just, yeah, look, it's the IT department.
Yep.
Look.
Yep.
There is
the colony may create a hive. Ooh.
Hive mind. Oh my.
Well done, Rex. Well done, Rex.
Yep. I missed all of you. God damn it! What was I saying? Oh yeah. So whenever there's like a buddy of mine went to a cybersecurity conference a week or two ago, and so there is a very real there's a very real danger to the internet whenever like the big IT conferences happen, whether it's like cybersecurity or like there's electronics one in Las Vegas every year that I can't remember the name of. It's not CES, it's the other one. But there's an equal danger to the internet whenever there is a furry convention. Because like
David,
the furry outfit,
that link.
Because the furry outfits are not cheap.
No.
And apparently
and they're called fursuits.
Right. All right, is it working? It's working.
Yep, you're good now.
Okay. But like the fursuits are really expensive, and going to a convention is really expensive. Like Kay and I both have talked to people where they were paid to be at the convention, and the pay they got to be at the convention did not offset their costs of going to the convention. But so, and like, you know, people who work in the upper levels of IT are very well paid for what they do, because what they do is difficult, very technically demanding work. So at a furry convention, if you see somebody just like decked out to the nines, like they have a fur coat over their fursuit, then that guy's probably keeping the internet. And if anything were to happen at any of these conventions to these people, the internet might not last too long.
It's true.
The buildup of static energy from the suits has to be dealt with before returning to being said backbone, because the backbone of the internet is I don't even want to imagine the sort of static shock, like especially like a furry convention in Vegas, because I went to Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest, and met just a bunch of autistic people. They were delightful, but it was 117 degrees with 0% humidity, and the idea of one wearing a fursuit and all that, absolutely not. Two, oh my god,
the internet runs on fuzzy logic.
To the level of static shock that you would build up. Like, we don't need solar. We just need a bunch of furries dancing to EDM in a room in Las Vegas to power the nation. That would zap your balls off.
And now we're getting back on topic.
Yes.
The third point in the book is ports of call. So you've got the whole galaxy, but then you've also got, you know, the major places that you're probably going to visit, such as Absalom Station, Starlands, all of that sort of thing, which is very important, again, if you're wanting to run a game within it. And then we have sirens, because of course we have sirens while I'm trying to talk. Then we have the fourth part is factions, which include obviously our Starfinder society. But you really liked the Knights of Glorian.
Yes.
The Hell Knights, the Free Captains, the minor factions, Xeno Wardens, all of those good things, which again have breakdowns and give you the factions that you can just pull from within the world to build your plots, to give your characters places to come from, factions to have come from, etc. Let me flip over to the art that got David's attention because it's real cool. Here we go. Look at this person. Look at this awesome person. And I genuinely... So, one of the first things that David said was surprised by how much melee there is in the future. Ooh, dat, right?
Yeah.
That is a Knight of Gloria.
You go through the book, and at one point, there's like a solid 5 pages where there's art on every page. So for one, there is a ton of art in this. Like Wizards of the Coast D&D is the gold standard because not only they're the OGs, but they're also the biggest. But Paizo does not slack when it comes to the amount of art. But you go through, and there's a solid like 5 pages where every single person on each of those 5 pages is holding a melee weapon. And I'm like, this is the future. You got lasers and shit. Like, why are you?
But look, that's like an energy sword and an energy shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
That almost looks like what a certain slate-colored centaur uses, which that statement means nothing except to one person in chat. But like, yeah, we approve of that sword and shield. We love this. Like, I dig this art so much. While you're piloting the ship, I was studying the laser blade. Exactly. So yes, you get the backgrounds, you get what they do, you get all that basic information, and then you get awesome art to inspire your character and or romanceable NPC. Sometimes you want to breach the airlock and you want to do it up close and personal. Right. And then the final section in it are the ancestries, which I believe Skittermanders are in the player's handbook, not this one. But we still get Skittermander art. And look at this perfect little gentleman. I love him so much. I love him. For those of you who don't know, Skittermanders are like space Stitches. They have like Stitch, like Starfinder's version of Stitch. They have 6 arms and they have a little hyper move where they get the zoomies and can move super fast and super far for like exactly 1 turn. In a world where EMPs are scarier than missiles, having a chunk of metal go slicey dicey with is nice.
That is fair.
Exactly. When the old tale spoke of blades in the dark, they did not know it meant knights in space. I love y'all. Look, this is Starfinder is so much fun because it can get weird, right? It can get real weird real fast. And look at this glorious weirdness. I love this guy. Look at how great this guy is. This is, you know the meme, David, of the angel showing up and going, "Be not afraid."
Right.
And then the person is very clearly horny and they're like, "Be more afraid."
Right.
This art right here. This is like, "Be not afraid." Okay, no, be more afraid.
Like,
I love it.
Be not afraid. Why are you taking your pants off?
Please be more afraid. I need you to be more afraid. This is no good. For our horror lovers, like, look at this creepy thing. I don't like it, but I'm gonna enjoy killing it. You know? I'm looking forward to that. That's pretty terrible. Yikes. And then, okay. It did not say be scaroused. Oh, scaroused comes up so often in Chalice. It's a problem. Thanks, Billy. So, Dragonkin, which is Starfinder version of Dragonborn, basically. You are a dragon. You're a dragon person. And that's cool. Dragonkin. Adam plays an incredible Dragonkin on the side quest versions of what is it called? It's Pan Show. Not Cyberpunk. Oh, I am. Whew, hold on, y'all. I am mad because I actually follow this and Cosmopunk. On Cosmopunk, which if you have seen Pan on this channel, Pan is incredible. I got to meet Pan while I was in England. He went, they went out of their way to come and hang out with me the day after they landed from a convention. Like, they went to America, landed, and met me the following day.
Wow.
So, thank you. Adam plays an awesome giant himbo one-armed dragonkin.
No.
Yeah, it's great. Uh-oh, we may have lost to David, so I might be here talking to myself for a little bit. Technical difficulties, please stand by, which means I might have to rearrange this in a minute. Dragonkin have a really cool bond. They can bond with one other person, species, one other thing. They can bond to another sentient, and they become bonded, not for life, but it's intended to be a very long-term thing. So it's not like, oh, I'm bonded to you today, and I'll bond to you tomorrow. Like, it is, there you are.
Yep.
Welcome back. I see.
Yeah, it was a big oh no moment. Yeah.
No. But they can bond to another person. They get all sorts of benefits if you do that. And again, it's meant to be long term, not like I bond to you this session, I bond to this person next session. It's supposed to be that really close friendship thing. And I love, David, you know how much I like unlikely friendships. Y'all, look at this pair. Bonded troopers of the Skyfire Legion, and it's a great big dragonkin and an itsy bitsy Yasuki, and they're just like, yeah, let's go. I love them. I love them so much. I want 3 seasons in a movie about these two. Please, immediately. Please. Like, I was flipping through the book, and I'm like, that's it. If I weren't already sold, this art would sell me. We have cat appearance now. We've had tech issue confirmed. This is an official Twitch stream.
Right.
Look at that. Skittermander.
Good day, gentle being. I am professional whimsical skittledaggler by trade.
Transcendentalism. Note to self. Be not afraid. Be not afraid. Yeah, classic short guy, tall guy dynamic. I love narrative foils, odd couples, mismatch. They like, it's my crack, y'all. It's just my crack. So that is kind of the very basic rundown of what is in this book. It is a little bit higher level because we don't have the player's handbook. It's not out yet. Comes out this summer. But this gives you kind of a really good, if you're trying to, especially if you're a GM and you're like, ooh, I want to run a campaign ASAP, right? I need to start world building. I need to start figuring out the world. All of that. This is a great thing for you to have. I have gotten 2 face palms from David on my puns. Oh yeah, we're back.
Right. So like, one of the things that I really like about the book is the entire section dedicated to adventures. because
Mhm.
obviously, like, D&D and Wizards make their bread and butter selling modules. And I remember a couple of years back, I was talking to Kay and I was like, why does it why does Wizards put out so few modules? Like, they should really capital it. And Kay is like, I need you to go to D&D Beyond right now and click on the tab with the actual adventures on it. And when I tell you, it is page after page after page of books of things. And like, everybody knows like Curse of Strahd, everybody knows Lost Mines. Like, there are 3 or 4 campaigns that everybody knows. But also, one of the most popular types of like tabletop D&D content on the internet is adventure ideas, plot hooks, and like other like storytelling ideas. And I too have like gone on the internet looking for these things because if I were left to my own devices, everything I would write would just devolve into a horror campaign.
Yes. Also, hi, Chrysicon. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Yeah, hi. And so not only do they have a section with adventures, but they have them broken down by type, and Kay actually like lists them off earlier. But it's dystopian, high-tech, fantasy, which I think it's hilarious that they have Pathfinder, and then in Starfinder they have a fantasy subsection for stories. And
it makes sense. Like, they've also specifically like gone through and been like, so I'm going to read some of this out. Even as sapient robots and artificial intelligences soar across the galaxy in starships, and societies cover entire planets with machines, other parts of the galaxy are filled with wondrous magic, right? Like, this is the place that Pathfinder is from. So all that stuff is still there.
Right.
Yes,
And
they do. They have campaign starters. They have adventure hooks. Like, it's great.
Right. And that's the other thing that I really appreciate is they don't just say, here are ideas for a long campaign, or here are ideas for a one shot, or here are ideas for a short campaign. They have all of those. And they have them for each category. So it could be Into the Unknown, it could be War Torn. I've actually spent most of my time in the weird section because I want to know what Paizo thinks is weird. And then of course I'm reading through it and I'm like, that seems pretty normal. Oh wait. But like, if I have friends coming over this weekend, which by the way, do not visit. I got trouble getting up and down the stairs. But if I had friends coming over this weekend and I wanted to just throw something together, then I could grab one of those one-shot ideas or a plot hook. And there are several games that I'm planning. And so if I wanted to do something longer term, I could grab as much of the plot hooks or story ideas that I want and then run with it, or they're pretty filled out. So it's like,
yeah.
A lot of people think that you can't GM with just like a Dungeon Master's Guide, when realistically people have been doing it out of the PHB since the first one. But also, even with just this, from a storytelling standpoint, they give you a whole lot to work with, especially if you want to do something that's really niche. Like if you want to do like a war-torn horror game with sexy NPCs, Like you could do that. And one thing that Paizo has always done that I really appreciate and occasionally find a little annoying is how in-depth and detailed their options are.
Yeah, so like it very specifically, like what's cool is like with whatever whatever thing you're looking at, right? It'll say like hotspots. These are the main places you're going to find horror. These are the main places you're going to find fantasy. These are the main places you're going to find the weird. And then it has, you know, what are the cultures around that? And then what are the important faces? So like if you're trying to build something that's canon compliant, here are the major NPCs that you need to know. And then it has, here's campaigns set in this. Here are campaign starters. Here are one-shots and side stories. Here's hooks for a long campaign. Triaxis, like breakdowns of what's the history, what factions are there within this. So it's a really great, like, oh, I want to start this campaign. You know, I want to start this. I don't know if it's going to be a short campaign or a long campaign, but I want to start just focusing in this one little spot. Here's everything I really need to know packaged up. Here are the plot hooks that I can take or leave. And then, you know, when we finish this adventure, we can get an idea. Do we want to keep it going or do we want to switch? No adventure ever ends. The one shot is never a one shot. It's always, if players have their way, it's always going to be, the short-term campaign is always going to be a long-term campaign. Just accept that. But yes, everyone's playing with I set up a thing that will tell you what percentage ducky you are. Inspired by my friend Pantoufles, because she has a dinosaur one, and I was like, it's kind of cute. Assuming is I wouldn't be surprised if the command just sprung up out of the ether. No, I programmed him. I just didn't program it entirely correctly, apparently.
At least not yet. Soon.
It shouldn't take too much to fix. Very silly question. It sounds like Paizo have thought of almost everything, put this book out with only one exception. Is there a kitchen sink?
Check in the index.
I do not, a search does not return either kitchen nor sink. However,
unfortunate.
I feel like there has to be, because this art clearly needs a kitchen sink to clean up the mess that's there.
Yep.
Clearly needs it, right?
I'm glad they still have burgers in space.
Yeah. All of that cannot be left without a sink. So let's be honest.
And also, like, we still do like a little bit of like not safe for work stuff. It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast. It's 10 o'clock on the East Coast. That one little package looked like an open condom wrap.
I'll just in case anyone needs to see. There it is. There it is. If you can spot it, you spot it. If you know, you know.
You can find this very cat either in a cargo hold on a spaceship or at an EDM festival.
Yep. Again, the belly shirt just does it.
And also,
the one
you've
pink
got
glove.
goggles and glasses.
Well, I mean, the glasses are star-shaped.
Right.
Like.
But yeah, I'm sure I've bumped into this cat at a rave.
For sure. Unlike this cat, who's just glaring daggers at me. What? He's so angry. Or at least seen them, yes. So that is a decently quick
God damn it.
rundown. If there are other questions, we will be very happy to answer them. David, did you have any other thoughts or things you wanted to make sure we covered? Back in my day, we scripted entire IRC bots and embraced the Borg. Uh-oh. We have technical difficulties. Please stand by. We seem to have lost David. I believe that David will return shortly. There we go.
Okay, it's back.
I will say, and this is in the playtest materials for Starfinder 2e. It is not in the Galaxy Guide, but it brings me joy. So I'm gonna talk about it anyway. And actually, I'm gonna print screen this so I can make it. I'm gonna do a thing quick. David, distract if you can. Say a thing, David, while I do a thing.
Right. So, like, one thing that we didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about is like the places. And again, like a lot of credit to Paizo for organizing this in a way, because as both Kay and I are people who spend a lot of time crawling through these types of books, different people organize things different ways, and some are more intuitive and smarter than others. So not only on the Galaxy Guide star map do they have the first image of the solar system that Kay showed y'all, on the side of it there's the name of the worlds and then like little blurb about each planet, but in the table of contents they have the same blurbs, and then when you go to factions or when you go to adventures, they talk about where each of these things takes place. And again, each of them gives you like enough of a tidbit to ground you in where you're going, and make it so that you have an idea of the location, because otherwise all the Star Wars people are going to make everything look like Tatooine.
And it's great too, because if you're like, the party is like, oh, we need to find da-da-da-da-da, where would that be? And you're like, you have a quick little that's at least close enough. Roll a culture or a history check. Okay, yeah, you would know that this is probably the best bet, and then you can at least stall until the next, until the session ends, and you could be like, okay, so coming back next session, okay, so you've got this, you've also done some more research and realized also maybe this place. So this is in the, I'm going to show the art for this, but what I'm going to talk about is actually in the playtest, which will be in the player's handbook, because it is one of the Starfinder, most known for species, ancestries, which are Lashunta. Lashunta are kind of, and to answer the question, there are not centaurs in Starfinder, but there are centaurs in Pathfinder, and they are compatible systems now.
I'd have to put together a Starfinder campaign.
If I find a spot that is equidistant between those three, is that the centaur of the galaxy?
Oh my god.
Well done, Rex. Well done, Rex. Make a David squirm. Lashunta are kind of their version, are like, they're space elves, basically. They are the pretty, this is an example of a Lashunta artwork that is in the Galaxy Guide. They're pretty, they have antenna, they have spots and or stripes across their bodies. They can be green, kind of flesh toned. There's I like Lashunta. Lashunta are one of Adam's favorite ancestries. If you listen to the Emergency Bar podcast, Soul maybe has some connections to Lashunta. But Lashunta is kind of one of their cornerstone, most known for ancestries. And Lashunta are like, y'all, Paizo's queer as hell, in case you don't know. And they are a dimorphous species, to where way back in ye olden days before the gap, males were short and squat and stocky and strong, whereas females were tall and slender and intelligent. So femmes would have intelligence boosts, whereas masculine characters would have strength boosts, which had to do with how the planet impacted them. Pathfinder 1e, they'd already figured out what causes that dimorphism, and you can just pick what you want to look like. They have found a way to detach it from sex, gender, any of that. You just go, oh yeah, I want to play the version that has intelligence boost, which is going to make me tall and slender. Starfinder 2e, y'all, it has the androgynous non-binary dream. They have a new option called Lashunta Unbound. That is, yes, it's so good. You came to the time, to the age when you had to pick, and you went, nah. And it's literally like you didn't lock into one or the other, so your genes are doing some weird things. You tell us what you look like. Maybe instead of spots and stripes, you only have spots. Maybe your antennae are curly. Maybe your antennae are hairy. You get little moth fuzzy antennae. Maybe you are tall and stocky. Maybe you are short and slender. You pick. You tell us. And it comes with a whole bunch of other really cool options that you can super customize your character with. Because that is one thing I will say about Paizo in general, Pathfinder 2e especially, and I really felt this in Starfinder, so I can't imagine how much I'm going to feel it in Starfinder 2e. So David, you know how in D&D you hit those certain levels that defines your character, where you make important character decisions?
Paladin level 3, yep.
Yeah, so it's like usually like level 3, there's a level 5, I think. Is it 5 or 6? You get a feat. There are these...
Level 5.
Yeah, there are these like definite points where you get to do a thing that makes your character your character. That is every level up in Paizo games. Every level up, you can do something significant. A lot of it is, more things are tied to your class passives, but also, or the class rank ups that you get, but you get a feat almost every level up. You get to do, and you have so many options. There is a challenge with Paizo games in that there is decision paralysis. But once you get over that decision paralysis, you could play a game of all operatives and none of them will play the same. They will all feel significantly distinct. And it's really, really cool to kind of get that moment of every level up is significant.
I was talking to Kay, I think over the weekend, either over the weekend or last week, but I was like, one of the big advantages of Paizo games is there are so many options. Like, if you could think of it, there's a rule for it, there's a feat for it. And it's good that you get a feat every rank up because there's so many fucking feats. But one of the bad things about Paizo is that there's a rule for everything, and that there's a feat for everything. So like, one of the things that is both a detriment and something that I like about 5e is so many things are not covered. Like, you have knights in armor, but no horseback fighting rules. in 5e. And a friend of the channel, Kato, he and I have spoken at length of how to homebrew a carriage chase, like you're robbing a carriage, and how that would play out in like D&D combat rules. And that actually led to Kay and I putting together a custom element for one of our charity games, where the mountain was coming down and then everybody had to run out, and then there were all these rolls that needed to happen. Pixel Chat has abandoned me again.
It's being strange. It may or may not let you back in.
But
That work.
It says connected, but it's not showing me.
Okay,
there it
yes,
is.
you're good. Okay.
And yeah, and so in 5e, like if there isn't a rule for it, I can just come up with something, which I enjoy. And one of the worst things to feel as a GM is when you do like a quick scan of the book, don't see the rule for what the thing that you're trying to do is, and then you're like, fuck it, I'll just do it live. And then you like come up with something, and then either later you discover it, or even worse, a player is like, actually on page 183. And then there's like this whole rule about it, and not only is it different than what you came up with, but it's actively worse than what you came up with. And so like Paizo, excellent work coming up with such a, not just a incredible number of feats, but such a dynamic range of feats that, like you said, you could have 5 operatives in your party and they all play very, very, very differently. As opposed to like 5e where it's like, I'm a wizard, I cast fireball.
Chaotic Wholesome tagline. Are you a ducky or a dice fiend? Chaotic Wholesome community. Centaurs!
Fair.
Yes, release the Quacken. Right, I had a thought and it has now left my brain. Oh, so yeah, look, y'all. I love the 3-action economy. I love Pathfinder. I love Starfinder. I was just talking to a friend and saying, like, I wish I could find more Pathfinder players who play like 5e players. That is my greatest desire. Matt, Mimics, and Misfits put together an excellent table with Candace the Magnificent, Robin, Super Dylan, and a couple other people, and they played a Pathfinder pirate adventure that played like a 5e game. And it was really cool because, you know, all of the cool stuff you get to do in Pathfinder, all the unique character things. But like the whole show was brilliant, and I want more. Yes, it was excellent, Rex. But like, I was talking to another friend who is a big Paizo player and was talking about, you know, they were playing something, and it's not like both GMs and players can get really bogged down in the rules of Paizo. And was telling me, like, was playing a game and someone was like, oh, can I have my familiar grab the berry or grab whatever it is and bring it over to me? And it was like, oh, well, yeah, see, there's a feat for that. So if you don't have the feat, you can't. Hey, a fluffy Goombo. Oh, if you like that, you might all in for Esther's. Oh, yes. Yes. Sorry, I read that wrong. Yes, go check out All In for Estria. It is hilarious. It is so funny. It's over on Mimics and Misfits channel. So it was like both the GM and the other players like shut it down with like, no, you need a feat for that. And I'm like, look, there's really cool ways to incorporate that, right? Especially if you're close to a level up. Or just, hey, if you'll, you know, I'll give you this feat if, you know, negotiate. Because it's like, cool, this is the moment when your familiar learns that feat. Like, I will give this to you now. It's a cool thing. It fits the narrative. You know, I will give it to you once now. unless you take the feat. If you don't take the feat, it can't happen again. But this could be the moment of how you learn. And because look, y'all, it's so much cooler when you get to do the thing live in the middle of combat or in the middle of the action, rather than going, oh man, one more level up and I could have done that. Like, no, do it now and commit. And if you don't take the feat, if you say, I'll take the feat, let me do it, and you don't take the feat, then you don't get to do it again. It's really easy. Yeah. Yes, we mean feat, not feet.
Right.
Also,
And-
this was a ways back, David, but they did ask, do centaurs get another hoof at every level up?
You know what? Yes. Yes. Level 12 centaur just got all the fucking feet. Oh, so Paizo has a feet fetish. Oh my god.
We don't have feet anymore. We've gone metric.
Right.
Answer for the week. Look, there's been a whole debate in our Discord already about how do centaurs wear their pants.
Yeah. God damn it. Oh man. That's gonna keep me up tonight. It's gonna be 2:00 in the morning. I'm gonna be on my phone typing to K, be like, okay, so here's the argument for this type of pants, and here's the argument for that type of pants. And then like, because if you spend any time on the wrong side of the internet, you've heard of the phenomenon of quote unquote hoochie daddies and hoochie daddy shorts. And so that's like dudes wearing 3-inch inseam shorts. And if you're a centaur, you're not going to limit yourself. So like, is it going to be the 3-inch inseams on just like the back half, or like the 3-inch inseams on the bottom?
Yeah, there was an entire proportion discussion while you were gone, David. Include like there were visual aids, there were 3D renders. Like, what is the size of human torso to horse body? What is that balance?
Yeah, I have some catching up to do on the Discord.
I mean, it is our channel. These centaurs will never leave. The centaur debate will go
True.
on forever.
It's true.
But we are nearing the end of our time. We should probably look at wrapping it up. So any final centaur jokes or comments y'all would like to get in? Yes, there's a question of centaurs wearing kilts.
Okay, so when it comes to other articles of clothing, besides like pants and shorts, because like a skirt has to lay a certain way. So I'm gonna go with. I mean,
You have
look,
you
you
have
could
not
put a
watched
piece of-
enough My Little Pony.
that's fair. Though also, if there is one fandom that has missed me that I'm not sad about, it is the My Little Pony fandom, because some of the dudes who are the My Little Pony fans are a little too serious for me. Silence, I'll kill you. Oh my god. Ah.
So, once again, thank you, Paizo, for sending over the Galaxy Guide to us. We've had so much fun digging through it. We've had a scattered discussion about it, but I've really enjoyed our scattered discussion. Once again, thank you, community, and everyone for coming out and hanging with us, especially now that David's back. I have missed you all these past 2 weeks. I have missed watching you all torture David for months, for the better part of half a year. And as always, y'all have great questions. I had a lot of fun just going through and being like, ooh, community will like this art. And again, I knew that the centaur thing was coming because I know someone who plays the centaur in Pathfinder, and they can play it in Starfinder as well because they just work. past 90 minutes made the world a little brighter. Oh. Welcome back, David. You're the centaur of our galaxy. Thank you, DC.
But yeah, and again, thank you everyone. When Kay and I first started Gilmore's like also
me.
I am here.
Thank you for being our third co-host.
Right.
As he beats me with his tail.
Right. But
He's really hitting me quite hard.
Good job, Gilmore. But when Kay and I first started doing this, at this point years ago now, I had no concept of how much it would grow and how important it would be to both of us. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of our community, and thank you for being wonderful people. I've had talks with people about different streamers over the past month or so. And one thing that I've come to realize is that regardless of what you think of a streamer, their community reflects who they are. And I am extremely happy and extremely proud that the Chaotic Wholesome community is the way they are, as a reflection of both Kay and I.
Larry says, welcome home, Ducky. And Lurking Rider, absolutely accurate. My feelings as well. This little corner of the interwebs is the best because of points that all of you could not be more accurate. So I am Kay. I have been one of your co-hosts. This is Gilmore. He has been one of your other co-hosts. You can find me and often Gilmore here every Tuesday. You can also find me this week, both Thursday and Friday. I will be streaming TTRPGs. Thursday, find me over at Metalark Productions for a Sterling Garden, which is the penultimate episode of our Star Wars 5e adventure. Friday, find me over at Weird Wilds War. No, find me over at Entropy Emporium for the Weird Wilds War, where I play Brandon, the Himbo T-Fork, David's favorite person ever. And as always, thank you all for hanging out, for being awesome. You make my day, my week a little bit brighter every time, and I am so grateful. David, who the heck is you, and what the heck has we been doing here?
Hi, I am David, and this is the Talk Not From a Hospital Tuesday table show, where every week we talk about TTRPG stuff, how to be a better player, how to be a better DM, how to be a better person, all with a focus on intersectionality and inclusivity so that everybody can have a good time.
We love you, and we're so glad you're both back and happy and wonderful. Thank you so much, Candace. Thank you for being an incredible co-host in David's absence. And just for a little bonus content, hey, welcome in. We are just wrapping up, but you're here for the bonus content because, hey, David, how's Blueprints treating you?
Oh, I just got that it's a pun. Oh God, Blueprints. Okay, listen. So Kay is playing Blueprints, and then I see it on PS Plus. It's also on Game Pass. So I download it. I start playing it, and the level of frustration. Now, I love FromSoft games. Like, if a game is tough, like I loved Hades. If a game is tough, I am completely zen. I will go and fight a boss 100 times. Like, I remember it took me over a month to beat the boss of Sekiro. But when I tell you that 2 separate times playing Blueprints, I have almost spiked my fucking controller. And since Kay is much further along in the game than me, I've messaged them and like sent them like a picture of my TV screen of my progress and be like, what the fuck? The fuck is this? How dare that? And of course, Kay's laughing at me the whole time. Oh,
Yes.
Oh.
Chat is you did not just get that. You did not only just get that pun. There's
Yep.
more than one pun in that game too. Yes. It's both a pun and a very sneaky hint. Foreshadowing. Ducky got the blueprints bug. That pun got me after watching Herb play it for like 3 hours. Alari says, I refuse to fall for blueprints. I downloaded A Date with Death instead. Good. Lurking Writer says that My Potato PC thinks it's a really elaborate slideshow rather than a game. Which, oof. Yes, you're welcome for the bonus content. You all, I am very, very fortunate to get direct access to David rants and things that do not happen on this. And yes, some things need to be shared. Herb Painting Pirate, Stephen Joyce, and several others. Yes. Great fun to watch. Very fun to see people hit things in different at different times, how long it takes them to figure things out, what RNG has blessed them with or cursed them with. I have a field notes notebook in Obsidian Vault for blueprints. I have a Google Doc that I had to set as offline access for when I was taking an 11-hour flight across the Atlantic and the States. People who may miss did not fully understand it. Yes. And one of my friends, I told David this, which enraged him. One of my friends got to the 46th room on her 13th day.
which is wild. And the number of times that I've gotten almost to the, like, it was like day 11, day 15, and then like day 21, where I'm one room away and I need one key or one gem or like one extra step to get into that level. And they were like, nope, too bad. Gotta come back tomorrow. And then not only do you come back the next day, but you come back the next day and you only get to like rank 4. Like you're like, nope, all right turns today.
If now I'm going to cause chat psychic damage on David's behalf. This is fair turn, y'all. This is fair play. David isn't taking notes.
Nope. Not a 1. Not a 1.
I'm just waiting now to see chat. Why does this game sound like it would make me mad? It is the first roguelike I have ever willingly played. I do enjoy it. There's parts of it I hate, but I love it. You do you, David.
I will say with the Myst comparison, I remember playing Myst as a kid, and Myst is so ball-breakingly difficult that unless you have the mind of the person who made the game, you're missing half of those puzzles. But if you have not played Blueprints, like I said, it's available for free or free-ish on multiple services. Download and play it. It is an extremely well-made game that seems simpler than it is, but it is extremely well designed, and it is deeper and more complicated than you originally think it is.
And the story that unfolds is the mysteries in it. Ooh, David hasn't gotten there. David doesn't know, especially since David isn't taking notes.
I mean, I read all the things in the game, but no, not one.
You got to start referencing back. Larry says, that confession can't hurt me because I don't understand blueprints. As a fellow Chaos Gremlin, I support this no notes play style. 10 of 10, no notes on no notes.
Or you should have written it down. Oh my God. Oh.
There was a pun to be made about it, but I can't recall it properly. What a missed opportunity.
I remember when Riven came out, and they were like, from the people who made Myst. And, okay, also, spoilers for Myst, for people who are going to go back and play that literally decades-old game. All of the shit that you go through, with all of the switches and all of the rooms, And to beat the game, you show up, you hit all of the switches, and it unlocks the center pedestal with the page that you need to beat a speed run of that game is 5 fucking minutes. There are people I know that have played 100 hours of Myst and did not beat it. But I remember when it was like Game Informer magazine had a big thing about like Riven coming out, and they're like, from the creators of Myst, and I was like, I am never buying that game. Absolutely the fuck not. You get $0 from me, you motherfuckers. But one last blueprints thing. There's a room with a logic puzzle. And
I get a message
room.
at least once a day of I might fail. This might be the first logic puzzle I fail. I might fail this one. Didn't. Fine. I got it.
So I message Kay. Oh man, I'm doing pretty well with these logic puzzles. And not only that, but there's another puzzle that requires math. And I was like, and Kay hates math so much that I specifically designed a currency system in our home game to make Kay do math, and Kay still found a way to not do math.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, oh man, this math puzzle must be giving you fit. And also, I'm doing great in these logic puzzles. I literally brag that I'm doing great with these logic puzzles. And then the next 3 times I encounter it, I get it wrong. And there's another math puzzle in the game that I have completely not figured out, despite discovering that room 3 times now, that I'm sure Kay got on the first fucking time. And I'm just like, ooh-wee, I should just shut my fucking mouth. Yeah. Blueprints is a journey, and it can be a little frustrating, and it's a very zen game. It'll teach you patience in a way that a Dark Souls boss will not.
Lurking Rider says, I've missed these rants and that laugh. And Ilaria says, yes, it feels so good. All is right with the world again. And I can't think of a better way to end this stream. So once again, thank you all so much. You are wonderful. You have certainly made my life better. I know I have seen how much better you have made David's life. You are all very appreciated. Any chance both of you are streaming it together? I have streamed a little bit of Blueprints. I don't know if David will be up to streaming it. I know that we're going to look at figuring out streaming again. But we are easing David back into things.
Yeah.
Because we do not need this man to overdo things, and then I am without my best friend co-host for another month plus. I won't survive. I just won't. I need that. So.
And I would not survive Kay breaking into the hospital and killing me for fucking up like that.
So, thank you all for hanging out with us. Gilmore, do you want to come say goodbye? Say goodbye, Gil. Thank you always. As always, you are wonderful. We are going to find someone to raid. But as always, until then, be kind to yourself, be excellent to others, and we will see you next time. Bye, y'all.